I did it. I rang the bell. I had beaten cancer at the age of 33. Naturally, thought the hardest part was over. But then, I gained 30 pounds out of nowhere, had trouble sleeping, crippling anxiety. You know, the kind that makes you want to crawl out of your skin? Oh, and then cystic acne, because apparently my body wanted me to go through puberty again. Except this time, I'm 33. Instead of being 13, I'm 33, paying taxes while maintaining a Costco membership. Little did I know that I was thrown into early perimenopause. Now, as an orthopedic and pelvic floor physical therapist, I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed to admit I knew very little about perimenopause. It wasn't really talked a lot in many of my trainings. And now I think back to all the women that I treated during this time who had unexplained frozen shoulder or hip bursitis that wasn't getting better the way we traditionally thought. Maybe they didn't need just another exercise. They needed more overall support, and I wish I could have given that to them. Now, my goal for my talk today is this: to help you understand that your body, it's not against you. It's always fighting for you. It has its own language, and it's constantly communicating. We just have to learn how to listen. That way we don't feel like a victim in our own bodies during this time. Now, these are the different things that you'll see to help support your body. Hormone replacement therapy, now called menopause hormone therapy, improving our diet, lifting weights, eating protein. If somebody tells me to eat more protein, I'm gonna lose it. Now, some other tools that are incredibly helpful that aren't talked about a lot are supporting our fascial and lymphatic systems. I won't dive more into those today, but I want you to know they exist and they can be helpful. Now, there are so many tools to support us during this time, and there are no one-size-fits-all approaches, unlike what you might see on social media. My goal for my talk isn't to replace these tools. It's to help your body feel safe so those tools can be more effective. And let's be honest, taking hormones doesn't undo 40 years of putting everybody else first. This is our body saying, we're done. We are tired of perfectionism. We are tired of people-pleasing, and we only want us to be authentically ourselves, because our body, it doesn't have capacity for anything else. No more BS, just authentically ourselves. In Eastern medicine, this time is called the second spring. It's considered a rebirth, a time where a woman, instead of giving to everybody else, she gives to herself first. She becomes more of a matriarch for society, full of wisdom. I don't know about you, but that's the outlook I want for this time in my life. Raise your hand if you've been told this and you've sought help for perimenopause. You're too young for perimenopause. Menopause doesn't happen until your 50s. Oh, and my personal favorite, have you tried relaxing? That's like going to the Apple store when your iPhone's broken and then handing you a floppy disk. It's kind of cute. It's outdated and it's useless information. All right, so what is perimenopause? Perimenopause is the time around menopause. It can happen as early as 35 and it can last 4 to 10 years. And it's the decline of progesterone and estrogen over time. Now, menopause is considered 12 consecutive months without having a menstrual cycle. So this is when your progesterone and estrogen have completely declined. So let's give you an example. So say you don't have your period for 9 months, and then on month 10, surprise, it comes back, the clock starts over. It's like your own hormonal version of Groundhog Day. All right, so in order for us to understand perimenopause, we have to understand the menstrual cycle and how it's different. So I'm going to be focusing primarily on estrogen and progesterone, but just know there's other hormones involved, but I believe it's important for you to know the basics. So we'll start days 1 to 5. This is menstruation, so this is when we're actively bleeding, and this is we're shedding the lining of our uterus. This is when our hormones are at their lowest. Now, days 6 to day 13, this is the proliferation phase. This is the phase where estrogen is increasing to get our body ready to release an egg. Now, day 14, this is ovulation. This is when the egg is released to meet the potential sperm. Now, this is the time when your body really wants you to make a baby. So the things that typically annoy you about your partner, maybe like their heavy nasal whistle while you're watching your favorite TV show, you actually think it's kind of cute. That's not love, that's estrogen. All right, so the luteal phase is the last phase. This is days 15 to day 28. You'll see this is when progesterone and estrogen begin to rise. You'll notice progesterone rises more than estrogen here. And then if implantation does not occur, you'll see the hormones drop and then the clock starts over. So day 21 is when progesterone and estrogen peak. And you'll want more progesterone than estrogen, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. Now, if you are menstruating on a regular basis, I invite you to start noticing your patterns. Notice. Maybe you're feeling a little exhausted on day 3. Well, you're not crazy. Your hormones are at their lowest. So you can start understanding your body a little bit more and make better choices or more informed choices about your healthcare. All right. So I thought, what better way to help us understand perimenopause than compare it to our favorite 90s TV show friends? Now, I'm going to focus primarily on progesterone and estrogen, but just know, again, there are many more hormones involved, and I'm just going to go over the basics. All right, so we're going to say Ross is progesterone. He's our calming hormone. He helps us sleep. And Rachel is estrogen. She gives us mood stability and she gives us energy. And these hormones also do a variety of other things, but again, giving you some of the basics. All right, so just like the show, when Rachel and Ross are dating, we have Ross is progesterone right at the top, you can see there, and then Rachel is estrogen. Now, we don't want too much Rachel, but we don't want too little Ross either. So when they're this nice, healthy ratio, things are good, just like when they're dating. Everyone's having a good time. Joey's eating sandwiches, Monica's singing Smelly Cat. They're all enjoying their coffee at Central Perk. Now, just like in perimenopause, Ross is the first to decline, okay? Just like when he starts dating Emily. Rachel becomes erratic. She doesn't know what to do. She was supported by Ross for all these years. What is she gonna do? So over time, you can see as Ross starts declining, estrogen can start changing a little bit. Now, we typically think of a gradual decline in perimenopause, but it's actually not the case. Sometimes estrogen can become erratic. Like I said, just like when Ross starts dating Emily. Rachel can spike, she can crash, she can ghost us and come back, just like the show. 1 minute she's crying in the hallway, next minute she's on a plane to Paris, and she's thriving. So, spiking of estrogen can look like heavy periods or feeling emotional. And crashes can look like you're tired, depressed, and unmotivated. I made a mistake here. Hot flashes are actually more that occur with those fluctuations when we are having the erratic nature of Rachel. All right, so let's think about this. If our calming hormone is starting to decrease, and Rachel and Ross typically support our nervous system, how does our body do? Well, it starts to increase our stress hormone, right? And who is the best example of our stress hormone than Monica, right? We all know Monica. And Monica's great, we love her. But sometimes we want her to sit down and stop color-coding the Tupperware. So here's the deal. We want to help support the healthy decline of our hormones during this time. Think about it like this. If you were to stop taking medication after 40 years, one day, cold turkey, you would have a lot of symptoms. So we want to support the natural decline so we don't get that erratic nature of Rachel. So the body knows two things. It knows, am I safe or am I not? It doesn't know the difference of anything else. So it doesn't know the difference if you're running late for picking your kid up at school and you're worried you don't want your kid to be the last kid to be picked up because then everybody's going to think you're a horrible mom. It just knows, I'm not safe. So the body prioritizes survival. In other words, the more Monica that we have in our system, the more the body suppresses Ross, just like in the show. Monica dominates Ross. She's the test, right? And so just like the body, when cortisol is increased, our body's gonna suppress some of our reproductive hormones because they're not a priority, right? Survival is priority. So translation, the more Monica we have, the less Ross. And so we want to support Monica, our cortisol, so that way they have more of a stable decline of Ross. And then that can lead to less erratic Rachel. All right, so we're at this time, we need to really support our cortisol, right? We really want to support Monica. And who better to support Monica than Chandler, right? Chandler's our oxytocin. He's our love hormone. He's our connection, the love, laughter, and connection hormone. So when we secrete oxytocin, this blunts the stress hormone. So again, Monica chills out, right? Just like the show. He knows how to handle her. He makes her laugh and she enjoys life. And the funny thing about oxytocin is that it's released during the things that we love to do, the things that make us feel alive in life. Like singing our favorite song, dancing, holding hands, laughing with a friend, petting our dogs. These are the reasons I believe that we're here on earth, to experience true love and joy. Now, joy and laughter can feel really uncomfortable if you've had years of feeling unsafe in your body. Now, I invite you, when you feel that discomfort, to lean into it and notice it, be curious, and tell yourself, it's okay to feel uncomfortable, but the more you can lean into that, the less uncomfortable it feels. So you can start to enjoy life because your body didn't feel safe before, but we can teach it to feel safe again. A lot of people are really frustrated during this time. They'll say, gosh, I used to be able to function on 5 hours of sleep. I used to be able to have a glass of wine without getting a hemorrhoid. But the reality is this. Our bodies, they never thrived in chaos. They never did. We just had the support of estrogen and progesterone to help us. Just like the bowling alley, right? If we were bowling all these years with bumpers, it's not like we were making strikes. We had Rachel and Ross to help us, get us back on track. There were no good balls. And over time, in perimenopause, as Rachel and Ross, our progesterone and estrogen start declining, we have to be more direct in the way that we're aiming so we could start hitting more strikes instead of those gutter balls. Now I invite you to do a somatic exercise with me here. I want you to think about a moment where you recently said yes when you wanted to say no. Maybe your friend asked you to take her to the airport at 4 a.m., even though you know she can afford an Uber, but you did it anyway. How does that feel like in your body? You can notice the sensations. Did you have more energy or less? Are you tense, relaxed, light, or heavy? Now, I don't know about you, but that's a full body no for me. I'm gonna feel tense, heavy, and my energy is gonna be depleted. Now, another example will be, I want you to think about a time where you laughed so hard you were crying, your abs hurt. It's okay if it's been a long time. It's gonna hurt your ears. What does that feel like in your body? Tense or relaxed? Light or heavy? Did you feel more energy or less energy? Now, I don't know about you, but that's a full body yes for me. I feel more energized, I feel lighter, and I feel relaxed. The thing is this, when we go through these somatic exercises, it's important that our body feels safe first. Because if we check in and we're in that fight or flight, we might get some misinformation. So if you're feeling a little off, take a few deep breaths, walk around the block, anything to show your body that it's safe. The goal is this: how can we start to feel more full body yeses during this time for the things that we can't control, and to give ourselves permission to be authentically ourselves? Maybe the question isn't, how can I fix my body? Maybe the question is, what has my body been telling me? And how can I experience more joy and laughter in my life? In other words, how can I have more Chandler in my life? Thank you.